Can he really be a player? This thought flashed through Raven's mind, but he wasn't one to jump to conclusions. There could be other explanations for the creature's nature. Recalling what Niara had told him about players from other servers, he remembered that any player she knew would have been blown away by interacting with the system. On high alert, Raven weighed which skills to activate first, debated the usefulness of his pets, and pondered if his charm of good and evil would counteract whatever artifact the Executor used to hide his info. Voice of Truth. He turned to the skill, which, according to its description, didn't affect players, unless he figured out its mechanics to replicate them in the real world. You cannot use Voice of Truth on this target. While the message left some ambiguity, it largely confirmed his suspicion that the entity before him was linked to the system. Catching a subtle movement from the Executor, Raven noticed he wasn't launching an attack. Instead, the Executor simply rested his sword on the ground and addressed him. Given the circumstances, I'll give you a chance. Raven wasn't sure if another player would be notified about an attempt to use Voice of Truth on them, but this creature seemed clueless. Accept this crown, and we can forget this little misunderstanding. Without hesitating, Raven met the stranger's gaze. I don't serve anyone anymore. No exceptions. With that declaration, he effectively shut down any negotiations and quickly downed another small chaos mixture he'd purchased from the witches. Had he not recently gone through his inventory, he might have forgotten he even had it. He'd overlooked it during his battles against Trix, Leoric, and the Royal Griffin. Gearing up to activate his new solid cover skill alongside the potion, he assumed a battle-ready stance. A small chaos mixture. Rank, Diamond. Description: a potion crafted in the Alchemy Institute of Adamarona. Transfers 25% of a user's random attribute to another random attribute. Duration, 1 hour. 25% of your agility added to your intelligence. Time left, 1 hour. The system message popped up just as the Executor spoke. Pretty gutsy. After a tension-filled pause, he shrugged and raised his sword. Guess I'll have to force it on you then. He was no longer just a gatekeeper with the duty of crowning a new servant. He was a warrior, ready to take down the audacious intruder in his domain. The next moment, his body emitted that familiar smoke, but Raven was already in motion. Spotting the opponent's aura coalescing into an ether skill in his chest, the rogue instantly used Leap. He narrowly dodged the energy beam shooting from the sword's tip, reaching the Executor before he could assume a defensive stance, and swiftly applied Torture.